Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, September 1st, and we are recording this on Saturday, so don't get mad. And at all the news coming out of PAX, and by all the news, I mean none of the news. But anyway, this is the GameKraft GameKast on thegameraccess.com. My name is Bronson Fiore, and I'm joined by Anthony Ta.
Recently humiliated. Again.
It wasn't that bad.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
In real life, 45-0 football game is embarrassing.
It could have been 52-3. At E3 in front of the developers. I'm just making that point.
At least it wasn't going. At least it's not going to be in front of a website that's visited by 600,000 monthly
unique
visitors.
Oh,
Think about at least the developer only had the audience outside the booth looking in if they even care.
The developer was most definitely watching all the games, and he was just looking at ours like, "Wow, that was sad." Anyway, we've been playing video games. We do that. We play a lot of video games.
We do play a lot of video games.
So what have you been playing? You finished Batman last week, which we talked about. Anything new?
Not really. Just kind of playing more of the usual games, getting some media footage recorded from The Witcher.
Oh.
Because
video
for an undisclosed project that nobody can guess. More of that indie game, Automation. I think I only talked about this game once in the past, but Automation is basically the automotive car tycoon game. It's made by a team a core team of only like 5 people. They've been working on it for 3+ years at this point. And basically you get to design a car, and it is surprisingly in-depth, and so for obviously for car enthusiasts like myself, you could just say, oh man, all these car companies in the real world are doing it completely wrong. Here, let me properly design a car for them. So far, the only thing they really put in is basically a sandbox mode in some scenarios. So really the game hasn't really had any of the campaign put into it, any of the money management in it, any of the... Maybe building 54 GT models isn't exactly a viable business plan. Because everyone... And like a lot of people on car YouTube videos and car websites like to think that they're an expert in automotive decisions. Every car should be rear-wheel drive, have a 6-speed manual transmission, and come with a V8 or a straight 6. Real life says, no, that doesn't sell. But everyone begs to differ. It's like, everyone's like, well, this is the proper car, and they don't actually have the money to own one. So maybe the Car Tycoon game will punish you for thinking that every car being a Dodge Charger isn't going to exactly make you much money. But selling a minivan will make you a lot more money than a Dodge Charger ever can, which actually saddens me just thinking about it right now. But that's the Car Tycoon game. Updates to them, they're going to put in biodemographics. They've been working on that game for like so long now that I don't know if it's ever going to be finished. It's one of those worries. But... considering the $30 I paid for early access and having spent 40 hours on it doing nothing but designing cars and engines, I say I've got my money's worth already, and that's before they even finish. So I'm happy. So that's Automation, the Car Tycoon game. Check it out, guys, if you're car enthusiasts like me.
Alright, that's rad. Let's see.
And it's indie! I found an indie game I enjoy!
Finally.
Yes.
Let's see.
It's totally game of the year whenever that thing gets finished.
Let's see. I've been dropping more time into Warcraft and Heroes of the Storm because I have 3 to 4 hours to kill every night at work.
Gotcha.
Because, like I can't record things for the site because it wakes up clients because I have to speak and project, but I can't put headphones in and do shit on my laptop.
Right.
So I've been playing WoW again, and man, that Warlords of Draenor, its content is very, very good. I just wish there was way, way, way more of it.
Heaven's Ward is kind of the opposite. The leveling sucks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the end game is the familiar stuff everyone's seen. It's more of like the end game is good because it's that familiar end game that everyone got used to from 2.0. But Unlike 2.0, which actually had a pretty good leveling experience if you enjoy a Final Fantasy type world, Heaven's Ward is just... It's like the first Hobbit movie. It's just one gigantic flat prologue.
Let me tell you the problem with Warlords from so far. We're on the last patch of the expansion.
Right.
And there are 3 raids. Versus, like, say, Wrath of the Lich King, which had Nax, OS, EOE, Ulduar, Trial of the Crusader, ICC, and Ruby Sanctum.
Wait, are you sure, like, just 3 raids? Are you sure that, like, that's, like, the only 3 things you could put more than 5 people in a group, right?
Yeah, unless you do, like, PvP or world bosses.
That is bad. Like, if I were to look at...
Granted, they have a lot of bosses. Like, they each have, I believe it's 15 or 16 bosses.
That's still only 3 raids. Oh. See, I kind of prefer shorter raids, because 16 bosses gets to the point where I'm just like, you never really feel the satisfaction of saying, I'm done with that.
Well, you do. You just do it in wings.
Yeah, but that feels like it takes forever.
Well,
like in the case of Heaven's Ward, yeah, you don't have exactly a chain of 16 bosses to go down, but it was like you had a really big variety of things you could do. I mean, like, to qualify for a raid, all you really need is a bigger, like, you need a party of more than a standard dungeon party. That itself qualifies as raid. So you've got easy stuff, you've got big 24-man stuff that you could do, and then you have the very high-end stuff for those who are interested in that.
Yeah, this has something very similar. It's just, so if you've played WoW for a long time, the average raid tier has 10 to 15 bosses. Like, my favorite raid of all time has 12. And then some raids are a boss. None of the ones in Warlords are that. Thank God.
Yeah, and in Final Fantasy 14 we call those trials, I think.
Yeah,
they're not exactly raids because it's basically just one big boss fight, and that's it.
But
unless it is extremely hard, then it's considered a raid.
Like, I've been doing the LFR version of Hellfire Citadel to gear for the normal mode version with my guild because they need a tank. And I'm playing it like these mechanics are really good, this fight's really cool, but I could feel as if you are a progression guild, you are super bored right now. Like, if I was playing this like I was back in the Wrath days, like, I would be bored right now.
Heaven's Ward had a moment like that before the Savage difficulty came out for the raid, because there was a normal mode and a Savage one. The Savage one didn't come until later, so everyone was thinking they dropped the casual bomb on the whole expansion, not knowing that the hard mode was going to come out anyways.
Yeah, no, like this one they have the heroic and mythic, and I believe there's not many guilds who have completed on mythic, but and the fights are really good. Like, I did the last fight of the what's going to be the last raid of this expansion over the weekend, last weekend, or not the weekend, the week. Sorry, it came out on Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, the fire on the ground follows you. And
that's creepy. That's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, like, the fire on the ground follows you, and he teleports you and raid members to this weird portal area, and you have to kill this ad without touching it, or else it flings you off the world, and you die. He'll summon ads that spawn more of that fire that can follow you, so you need to kill the ads before you kill the boss, and he has a ton of health. Like, it's a really good fight. It's a really entertaining fight. But, like, man, like, I think about, like, the progression of anything. Like, I LFR'd that thing in a week, which is fine because it's LFR. But I look at, like, the normal mode shouldn't be that much harder than this. If you're a competent 10 or 20, or you're a competent 20-man guild, you should be able to whip through this in, like, a couple weeks. And then, like, the argument is like, well, there's all this other, like, garrison stuff, and some of that garrison stuff is a lot of fun. Like, some of that garrison stuff is a blast, but then, like, there's other garrison stuff that is really fucking grindy. And so they're finally putting flying in Warlords of Draenor. It was supposed to be something at launch, and then it got delayed and delayed and delayed, and now they're putting it into a big fucking quest grind. Where it's like, you need to max out your reputation with these people, do every story quest in every zone, which I've already done. I have it on every year. I have that on my main. So I've completed all the story for Draenor. And then you need to do half the treasure maps. Which the treasure maps are, you find them in dungeons or raids or through your garrison, and then they give you like a point on the map and you have to go dig up treasure. And I'm like, this is horse shit. You are literally doing this because there is like no other, like, you need content right now to delay for Legion. So you are turning this thing that in every other expansion has been pay a large sum of gold to get this. And I think that part of the reason is they're doing it because they need content, and another reason they're doing it is because right now it's really easy to get gold. Shit's hella inflated because of garrisons.
Inflation! There's some economics for you.
But yeah, so like... Yeah, it's... man. It's...
If you were to score out of 10 right now, knowing that you know about Warlords, what would you give it?
Like a 7.5 or an 8?
So it's okay.
Yeah, like...
A little kind of goodish, but
yeah,
mostly
but,
okay.
Like, it's good, and like the content that is there is really, really good. The raids are good, garrison stuff is neat, it's really addictive to build your garrison up to max. It got me to go max my pet battle team so I can unlock the pet menagerie and see all my pets playing in my garrison.
You remember pet battles?
Yeah.
That was a thing in Mists of Panderia.
The lore is okay. Like, I feel the lore lacks...
Yeah, I thought, like, the thing was that everyone was hyping it up to be... There's gonna be a resurgence. And there was.
There was, because that content was really good.
Yeah.
They just needed way more of it.
You said there's, like, higher peaks and deeper valleys now.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, okay, well, we kind of messed around with Warlords. It didn't deliver. Now what can we do? Illidan.
I don't think it, like, I think it delivered early on because that, like I said, that content was some of the most well-designed, interesting content in the history of World of Warcraft, and I'll stand by the fact that it's the best questing in WoW. But, like I said, you can get to 100 in about a week and a half from 90.
Is that playing it like 3 hours a day or 8 hours a day?
Like 5 to 6.
Wow, that is alarmingly fast.
And then like that's doing and when I was done, I had every story mode quest done except for one for every zone. So that means when you level an alt, you're certainly going to have to do those again. It's not like Lich King where I had a lot of quests left on the table, and like when I did Lich King, like I feel this whole expansion feels just like their extended beta for Legion almost.
That's not good.
And like the lore kind of lacks consequence except for a couple of plot points.
It's like, who matters if this timeline gets screwed up because it doesn't affect our world. Is that it?
Like once you blow up the like portal so they can't come into your world, and then get rid of and then like the only threat that's left is Gul'dan, and then he escapes, and that's how Legion starts because he wants to summon the Burning Legion to our Azeroth. Which damn, I don't know how Wrathion figured that out in Miss, but that's weird. Anyway, there's the only plot points that really like matter are Gul'dan and the Burning Legion stuff, which is the newest patch, and Garrosh, which I like. Regardless of whether you liked Garrosh or hated Garrosh, his end fight scene was really, really good, and the way they killed him was pretty sweet. It was a one-on-one. You did this massive quest chain and sieged this area that he was in control of, and then you fought him with the help of whoever your faction champion was. So if it was so the Alliance, it was Yrel, and I forgot who it was for the Horde. And like Thrall comes like, no, this is my fight. Him and Thrall have this really awesome one-on-one fight, and then you think Garrosh is gonna win, but then Thrall uses his shaman powers and just messes Garrosh up so hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as like ranking it, like I'm gonna do a Bronson soapbox soon on ranking the World of Warcraft expansions.
Oh, I already know what's number 1.
Wrath.
Wondering what's at the bottom.
It's this or Kata.
I didn't think Cataclysm was that bad. It was actually like a 8.5 kind of thing.
Yeah, here's the problem with though is like you're comparing it to the other expansions, which
that's gonna be tough.
Vanilla and Burning Crusade are like those are MMO game changers. Like for the history of MMOs, those two are so important. And then you have Mists, which I think is criminally underrated. I think Mists of Panderia is so horribly underrated.
I guess people just were turned off by the mere pandaness of it.
Like, I've been leveling my Death Knight, and I'm in Panderia again, and I'm like, this is awesome! This expansion was so good! Like, it had problems, like, the obsession with reputation in dailies was really crappy. And having Garrosh end up being the main antagonist at the end was kind of crappy. Especially because you found out it was, like, through an old god. And it's just like, dude, really? This is the third time?
I thought we solved that problem in Kata.
No, you didn't kill N'Zoth.
Well, no, but you thought that some of the problem got a little bit resolved because, oh good, the giant black dragon that got driven mad by old gods is dead.
Well, the old gods that are alive are N'Zoth and whatever the Eastern Kingdoms one is, which no one knows. There's 2 left out of the 5.
Okay.
Because you killed Sethune in Vanilla WoW. Yaharj, the Pandaria one, was already dead. It's just in his heart. Like, before he died... Lore time.
Warcraft Lore 101. Presented to you by Dr. Bronson Fury, PhD of Warcraft Lore.
I actually went on a date with a girl who plays WoW. She's really into WoW. But she'd never paid attention to the lore, and is fascinated with all this stuff. Whenever I talk about it, because she wants to know the story. Anyway, the old god finally died due to the Titans and the Mogu, but before it died, it laid a curse upon Pandaria known as the Shah, which means if you let your emotions take over, like fear or anger, it manifests in a physical form that can harm the land or people.
Half of that sentence, I was like, what?
Alright. What?
Yeah, this is like the jargon's we're gonna need a really thick MMO dictionary for our average listeners here because this isn't the raid.
Okay,
old gods are basically nasty things that live under the earth and can kind of whisper into people's heads and drive them crazy. Think of them as medieval fantasy reapers that live under the earth. That's the best way I could put it.
And when Azeroth was young, the only thing that was on the planet was the old gods and the elementals, and it was like Azeroth was all effed up. And then the Titans came, who their job was to keep order in the universe, and they fought the old gods, and they imprisoned them and the elementals, and then they raised a war against them. They imprisoned all the old gods except one, which was I can't pronounce his name. Yaharj. It's the Pandaria one. He died, but before the only thing that was left of him was his heart. But before he died, he laid a curse upon the land of Pandaria, or the area of Pandaria, because it was all one continent at the time.
Yeah.
And that curse made it so your emotions, your negative emotions, manifest in a physical form that you will have to fight.
Can you imagine how scary our world would be if that happened? Because every single retail store out there is gonna burn down if that happens. Okay, because you've got angry customers and you've got a lot of grief to the employee. So basically, retail is the most toxic place on the planet.
Yeah. Going to the grocery store, a whole new experience.
Yeah.
And
those physical monsters manifest as just eating all your fresh produce.
But yeah, you have to fight
now.
But you fight them. And you have to fight them. That's why, like, the Pandaren culture is all about in control and remaining calm and peaceful and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then, like, the heart of the old god, like, was found by Garish and the goblins, and, like, he used it to gain more power, but also was controlled by that old god now, and that's part of the reason he went nuts, and we had to kill him. Like, he was really a dick either way, but that just made him more of a dick. So yeah, I really found the lore of Panderia interesting, like the Thunder King, like, it was all new lore, right? Like, it was
it was like this brand new continent. No one ever knew anything about it because it disappeared.
Like, it wasn't in the previous games. It wasn't in previous books. So, like, as a fan of the lore, I'm just like, new stories everywhere.
Oh my god, we don't have to beat down the Burning Legion again.
Yeah, but
no,
we have the Shah.
You're gonna beat down on the Burning Legion again now that you came back from your alternate universe.
Yeah, which that does have some cool story stuff because they're finally doing the story of the Naga. And they're finally going back to the Valkyr.
I thought Cataclysm did a little bit about it. A little. Because you freaking had your whole entire place under the sea.
Like, yeah, there was that zone.
Yeah.
But that ended in a cliffhanger.
Remind me how it ended.
You fight back the old god Corruption and the Naga, and you and the, element of water, the Ragnaros of water, we're gonna go, like, down and, like, go F up the old god and, like, get rid of this Naga problem, and then just cliffhang. It's like, yes, we'll pick it up sometime later. So, this new expansion is going to cover the original Queen of the Night Elves, and now the Queen of the Naga.
Going back in time again!
No, she's alive still.
Oh, I thought you meant before she became a Naga.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Queen Ajara, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have Queen Ajara, and they're going to cover the story of the Valkyr, like those Viking people who humans evolved from.
Great.
Because that was in Northrend, and they did a lot of stuff with that, but now they're going to finish it. And then, of course, there's Burning Legion crap.
More green fire out of the sky, guys. Life's never boring.
Like, I don't hate the Burning Legion, but, like, we've killed Archimonde in 2 different expansions and Warcraft 3. Because in Warcraft 3, we killed him.
Yeah.
And then we killed him in Caverns of Time to that same fight. And now we killed we killed him again, because he exists across universes, in Warlords. And we fought Kil'jaeden once. And Kil'jaeden's way cooler than Archimonde is.
Yeah.
Kil'jaeden's way more badass.
Yeah.
Way more badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kil'jaeden, like...
What did he do again? Because I feel like I know
he's the one who, like, he is the deceiver. He's the one who, like, went to the orcs and, like, tricked them and shit and made them, like, invade Azeroth and drink the demon's blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, no. And, like, he threatens Illidan into going to fight Arthas.
Yeah. You know, if there's one major disappointment I've had with the Warcraft lore that they could just never get right, probably because they only have one writer for that entire part, is the dragon aspects.
Yeah.
That is just, like, the one part that I'm just like, I feel like I know Arthas really well. I feel like I know the Horde really well, even though I played on Alliance, and I understand the background of the Horde and why, and I can understand the Alliance, but I don't understand the dragon aspects, and every time I do, it's just some mediocre BS. I even bought a book that explains their origins, and it was a mediocre book that just felt one-dimensional and. Be happy then, because they're barely going to do anything else with those characters. Really? I wish they could do something more with the characters, except not be as mediocre.
Because the end of Kata, they lost their aspect powers.
Oh man, that's just disappointing. It's just a load of, like, dragon aspects to me is just nothing but a giant load of disappointment. They have so much potential because, well, dragons and, well, intelligent sentient dragons with lots of amazing powers, and they never did much with it. And now that all their powers are gone.
The only two that they're really going to follow anymore are Bronze and Blue. Bronze, because they have to figure out how Nosdormu becomes the infinite dragonflight. And they need
it's going to happen at one point.
And then Blue, they need to figure out...
the young Spellweaver. Oh, man, that mana bomb that just blew up Theramore.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Jaina and that guy getting together?
Yeah, that's supposedly happening. That's going to be a thing. Anyway, outside...
Yeah, but it's just like that group of 5, I'm just like, there's so much potential to elaborate further.
Well, now group of 4.
The group of 5 originally.
Yeah, now group of...
It's like that group of 5, it's like, you could do so many interesting things before Netherian went crazy, but you never elaborated on it.
There's Deathwing's only non-insane son who's left.
Dragonfly's just going to be extinct anyways.
Well...
I don't know. Every time you come up with dragons, it's just kind of like, okay.
Let's continue to fuck up the black dragonflight.
I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, you could do so many interesting things with them, but they just can't. They just don't continue with it. And I'm just like, that's okay. That's all right. It's just like, man, you could give Arthas the best story in the world, but you can't give anyone of those guys. It's just, it kind of ticks me off. That's probably why I lost a lot of interest in Warcraft lore.
But more on Pandaria, like you found about the Mogu and the Pandaren culture and like these different races that we'd never seen before, like the Hosen.
It's like a clean slate, but isn't.
Yeah, like it's still in Warcraft lore. Like you find out how they were affected by the War of the Ancients. Like during the War of the Ancients, they completely sealed themselves off. And, had no idea what the fuck was going on. And when the continent broke, they just, were like, well,
that was strange.
Yeah, I do find it weird how, every continent has some insect race except for the Eastern Kingdoms. Because the Northrend has the Anubarax, the spiders.
Okay.
The Kalimdor has, the Sithis, those, skittering bug people, the Mantis. Oh, no, not the Mantis. What were they? God, I'm trying to remember what kind of bug they were. Anyway, and then the Pandaria had the Mantid, which are giant mantis men.
Maybe the Eastern Kingdoms is too green and too lush for the most part to have bugs. Yeah. Although that wouldn't make sense because bugs exist in jungles and those are lush and green.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the Eastern Kingdoms wasn't wasteland. Maybe, who knows, maybe you have a bug race rise up from the Plaguelands now that you have a wasted place to do it with.
Yeah. Spiders. Giant spiders.
No, not enough oxygen in the Eastern Plaguelands. Everything's polluted.
But no, they're healing the Eastern Plaguelands. Anyway, with Legion, I'm really excited about how they're going to do class halls, though. They're not going to do garrisons. They have this new thing called class halls, where your class will be going to a specific area, it's like a home base.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
So and it's really awesome. They're in different parts of the world depending on your class. So the Paladins, there's this Lights Hope Chapel in the Plaguelands. Where Tyrion
I remember that. I remember that one.
And, did you ever do the Death Knight starting zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was cool!
That's the chapel.
That's
that
cool!
Chapel.
It's here's where you died! And then you get to see the Lich... Yeah, the Dark Knight starting is awesome. The only part that sucks, in my opinion, about the Dark Knight starting zone is if you happen to have started with a level 60 Blood Elf and you're running through Orgrimmar and all the NPCs are throwing fruit at you and everyone sees you... They go LOL at you, and I just thought, man, this is really stupid. That's the only part of the Death Knight I don't like, is when you have to travel the city and everyone throws at you. And of course, naturally, I picked a Blood Elf. How stupid can that be?
I did it on a human and a dwarf.
Probably felt a little long, but I guess in starting zones, I'm just what happens in Final Fantasy XIV is that when you pick a class, you start in one of 3 cities. But... In World of Warcraft, everything was its own starting area. But so, in Final Fantasy XIV, you're already into the main story as it already is. Whereas, with World of Warcraft, you don't actually get to the main story until you finish your starting area.
Yeah.
But having a starting area is very good because it tells you about the culture and the history of your race or whatever. For example, oh hey, I'm a Draenei. Congratulations, we've got a crashed, irradiated spaceship.
We have fucked up the environment so bad. We are so sorry. Like I remember when the Draenei Starting Zone came out, and I was reading quest text, and like I was talking with Ben, who was making a Draenei Shaman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the short version of this Starting Zone is that we are so sorry we entirely fucked up your environment. We'll fix it.
At least they're on an island.
Yeah.
That's good. Because imagine if they crashed. I mean, you think about that island is actually not too far off from the Night Elf area. So can you imagine if... imagine if they irradiated that giant tree. It's the end of the world as we know it. That would have been funny. And terrible.
But no, like, Panderia had a lot of legit lore.
I think, like, sometimes starting with a clean slate is good. Because your mind can roam free. You're not locked by everything that's been written.
There were koi fish people and monkey people.
Oh, I love the fish people. The fish people also.
The Jinyu.
Those people.
They could see into the future. That was so cool.
I did not know that.
They could see into the future by looking into the water. Like one person,
Great. They'll probably get paid a lot then. They could be fortune tellers that way. I could ask them, hey, can Azeroth ever be peaceful? No.
Then you had the monkey race, which was hilarious. And then it was
Hosen.
Yeah, the Hosen. And then you had those like backpack trader race, and you could buy a yak as a mount. You have a yak mount.
Now I just think about that 50s song. Don't go back.
You have a yak. There's that, and they had serious quests, like when you blew up the Jade Forest.
Oh, that was bad.
But they also had really funny stuff, like the Kung Fu Master and the car wash.
Oh yeah, I remember. No, I don't remember the car wash, but I definitely remember the Kung Fu training bit.
Yeah,
watching my dad do that was like.
It was really funny.
It was really. I guess here's the thing. I've never really been like the biggest fan of World of Warcraft's more exaggerated, cartoony look that tries to be ultra serious at the same time at times. But Mists of Panderia just fits that cartoony look so much better. Because hey, pandas, brand new land, serpent dragons.
That is a really pretty continent. Panderia is really pretty.
I mean, well, like I said, when you've got a clean sheet replacement and you're not bounded as much by whatever was written in the past, your mind can roam free. And sometimes you just need a breather and you don't need to be all serious all the time. Because you're thinking about Wrath of the Lich King is a really serious thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they put some jokes in there, obviously, but
they had some good.
It's a very serious thing, and that's probably why I feel like Heaven's Ward is kind of a little. It's kind of a little too serious sometimes, because at least with 2.0, they could actually put a lot of jokes because there was a lot of diversity, so you could actually have a lot of breathing room. But Heaven's Ward is just one gigantic cold ass draconic thing, and it's just like, oh.
Anyway, moving forward.
Yes.
I played Heroes of the Storm some more. I play Heroes of the Storm almost every night now, for a little bit at least.
Good. Can you carry? Well, you can't carry me actually.
I play support, yo. I can carry you late game. Because late game, I'm just like stun, heal, stun. Yeah. No, I could.
What I played in the league a lot of the time was obviously I wasn't like at the level cap, so I wasn't exactly playing where everyone else was, which is like on a more competitive level. So I was on like the leveling path. No one ever picks a support, so obviously I don't want our team to lose. So I pick a support.
So I play with a friend of mine.
The thing that really screws people up, is I play a tanky support.
I play
a person where if you spec her right, she is very tanky, and only that she has a heal and invincibility that can be used on other people.
I do deep support, so like it's just like stun. Like my Divine Storm does ridiculous amounts of damage, and my level 20 spell. When I die, once my Eternal Devotion ends, I come back to life where I was.
For my character, which was Kale, invincibility is a huge plus. Because you have what's known as the AD carry, which is the attack damage. This is your biggest dealer. This is the guy that gets the kills for the team for the most part. And
so the assassin.
So, obviously the price you pay is ultimate squishiness. So, pop invincibility, and if things go right, the guy just probably got maybe 2 or 3 kills.
We had an assassin on our team who was playing Kelthus Sunstrider. And his level 20 stuff, he does so much damage, but he's made of glass. So
yeah,
it was sense. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a wall around him and just have him shoot everything, and we ended up winning by going mid. Last night, we had a game where I went 26-3, and the person I was playing with went 21-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, like
very.
Especially when she is playing Malfurion, because then between the both of us, we have 4 stuns all together. Like, because I can use Hammer of Justice, she can use Root, I can use Divine Storm, and then by that time, Hammer of Justice is cooled down again. I can use it again. We can basically stun lock you as long as she hits the Root in the right place, because you have to target with Root manually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like, okay, if you root right, we will wreck anyone in a 2v1. It's not even fair. Anyway, yeah, like, it's unfortunate you and I are on different schedules. Because, like, man, if you are awake at 3 a.m. and want to play Here's the Storm, Anthony, I will totally play. Moving forward.
Just the problem is that nobody's awake at 3 a.m.
I know.
Ask traffic. There is none.
So,
in news that saddens a lot of us because
we're not there.
Wish we were there.
PAX Prime is going on right now. It is happening. It is doing incredibly well. I have friends.
You would think it's doing well if it's sold out in like 45 minutes.
I have a friend who won an Xbox One by like buying a $5 like lottery ticket.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, you know Felix. I was like, "Are you freaking serious, you lucky bastard?"
Well, you gotta understand it's a lottery.
Nintendo is
only one will win.
Nintendo is selling a bunch of rare amiibos and new amiibos that aren't out yet. Anthony looks so salty right now.
Damn it!
They are selling Mewtwo, Zero Suit Samus, Olimar, Splatoon characters, Mii characters, Shovel Knight.
Ooh.
Mr. Game & Watch, Bowser Jr., Ganondorf, Dr. Mario, Falco, the Splatoon kids. So yeah, they're selling a bunch of those early. I'm super mad about this. Astro is doing special headphones.
I really want to talk about the amiibos, which is Nintendo's whole... I don't know if it's a plan or not, but it's kind of easy to think that it was a plan of creating this massive shortage just because everyone just stopped caring all of a sudden.
Yes, because I can get Little Mac for a decent price now.
I can get Lucina for a decent price also.
But yeah, Xbox One Halo controller, which you can get this holiday season.
With a limited edition bundle, right?
Yeah, or just regular. In fact, they're doing a bunch of special controllers. Rainbow Six Siege, Halo 5.
Paint.
What?
All that paint.
Fallout 4, Garden Warfare 2, Mirror's Edge, and IGN. Sellouts! And then special Skylanders if you're into those. Can I just talk about how there's a Shovel Knight amiibo?
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's so
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They got a bunch of pops.
Speaking of custom painted controller, I wouldn't say exactly custom, but special themed controllers, you better hope you don't rage too much and break them.
And then there's just this massive stand with a plush of every character you can imagine.
Can I please go there? Because I have this thing at conventions that I always buy a plush when I go to a convention. Or, well, actually at SnafuCon I didn't buy a plush. I bought a pint glass.
Yeah.
It was a Pikachu, Pichu, Raichu pint glass. And it had really awesome etching. It was basically the evolutions within each other. So Pichu was inside and then Pikachu encased it and then Raichu encased it. That was a really awesome pint glass. And it was a really high quality one too, where you can actually use. and not just put it on a shelf just to be looked at. But yeah, I always buy a plush.
Yeah, like
actually, speaking of plushes, Final Fantasy 14, Square Enix is doing this Final Fantasy 14 Carbuncle plush. It is the most adorable thing ever, and everyone who plays that game feels like they have to get one, and they're trying because there's a wait list for it now. That plush is so awesome. It's a $40 plush that's only about the size of a slightly smaller than a basketball, maybe. But carbuncles are so cute. But yes. Anyways.
But yeah. So, a lot of stuff's coming on at PAX. Giant Bomb did Mario Party 5, which they did either 50 or 100 turns of Mario Party 5.
Wasn't there a bingo board for that?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Jeff, one of the boxes with Jeff screams in agony.
Got it.
I can't wait to watch it. They recorded it, so it'll be on their site soon. Yeah. Those are always super entertaining, and I can't wait to do ours. And by can't wait, dread, but I'm super excited for it at the same time.
I don't know if I should look forward to it or not, just because of the Oreos dipped in nacho cheese.
Just have one.
Yeah, just one, and then I'll just proceed to eat nothing but Oreos.
That's a good way to
All
live.
the chocolate cookie.
Yeah, but Kotaku
Cosplay, and cosplay!
Yeah, there's a lot of rad cosplays.
It's a gaming party!
Okay, that's pretty hilarious. Like, beatboxing, like, breakdancing Mario and Luigi.
In front of an Intel board.
Yes. With Patrick Klepek from Kotaku.
Great.
But no. So, do you know what Uberpool is? Are you aware of
Uberpool or just Uber?
They're the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, Uber is kind of like a taxi service, except instead of going through a taxi company, you sign up for Uber and you can be a driver after you pass like various background checks or something like that. And you can use your own personal car to taxi people around.
Yeah, that's only $5.
As long as you maintain a sort of standard.
And it's only $5 a ride.
And it's cheaper, friendlier, and safer, supposedly, than taxi companies. And taxi companies are having heart attacks over this.
Yeah, no.
Yes, that's Uber.
This is going to put taxi companies out of business.
Yeah. I actually remember I was in San Francisco a couple years ago, and one of the news stories was all the taxi drivers were on protest at San Francisco City Hall because of the existence of Lyft and Uber.
Yeah. Uber is great. Like, what you do is you pay $5-10.
You pass a background check, and you can use your car to drive people around.
Well, I'm referring to us as a customer.
As a customer, because of the higher standards of Uber, you don't have to worry about insanely high fares. And as messy of a car, supposedly. I don't know what Uber standards are for car cleanliness, but I'm pretty sure there has to be some, because let's be honest here, I don't think your car would... I mean, to be honest, I don't think some people's cars would qualify for use as Uber.
Anyway, well, in Seattle for PAX Prime, there is Mad Max Ubers during PAX Prime.
Ooh.
So, like the cars from Mad Max, you can ride in those. And ones like them, if you need rides around Seattle, and use Uber.
Okay. Must be interesting trying to get those registered at the DMV. I assure you that weapon's not real.
I assure you, the chained person playing a flame guitar on top of my car is completely...
Yes, all of our seats have seatbelts, we swear.
Yep. That's cool. Like, I love how even the city of Seattle just gets, like, at least the downtown area just gets absorbed into PAX. Like, you see just cosplayers...
Well, when you think about it, it is a really big part of their economy for that weekend. So
that is their Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, it's not Labor Day weekend anymore?
It is.
It is?
This is, like, the first time it's not Labor Day weekend in, like, years.
Okay.
Is this Labor Day weekend?
No, it's next weekend.
Yeah, this is the first time that hasn't been on, like, it's always going to be the weekend of, like, the 28th, 29th, etc. for the next, like, I think they locked it in for 6 or 7 years. So...
They need a bigger convention center, but...
The city of Seattle supposedly working on it.
It's not of hard to expand a convention center when you're in downtown because downtown's kind of hard to expand on.
They can't knock down the right because it's the Sheridan.
Right.
They can't knock down below them because it's the Annex, which is pretty much part of the convention center, and they can't knock down the Paramount. So like the other option, like they don't have any other options besides like these older hotels to the left of it.
So take those out, build new stuff, and build tunnels build like skywalks between them.
Yeah, like you'd have to put a skywalk under like this freeway bridge, and over it,
yeah,
and destroy these bleeping hotels. So, and then there's stupid people who want to put another like highway into Seattle, and most of the locals are saying no. That's how you create Los Angeles. Stop it.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, the solution isn't really to shove more roads. To be honest, Los Angeles is kind of a little messed up because in cities like New York and San Francisco, you have a lot of tall buildings, so you have an extremely densely populated city, which makes buses and subways and public transportation viable because, well, people are going to use it because everything's so packed in and you don't have a place to park. Los Angeles, on the other hand, everything is flat and spread out, which makes it really hard to create viable public transportation because you don't know if your route is going to generate enough for it. Not to mention your route's going to be longer and further, which makes it more expensive. So what do? Well, everyone has a car because they can't rely on public transit to drive by their neighborhood.
And when everyone massive traffic jams.
Yeah, and then you think, well, I'll just build more freeways. Well,
that just creates bigger traffic jams.
Actually, I don't know if you remember, but on our way back, we were driving by an area where they're planning to construct more freeway.
You want to know what could really solve this? That's what solved it in New York.
What?
The fucking subway.
Oof. Well, the problem with that is that then you're just looking at billions of dollars to try and dig underground.
Yeah. Well, with a monorail. But there you go. You do it like...
Yeah, the problem with the monorail is that, again, Los Angeles is very flat and spread out compared to San Francisco and Seattle where everything's more packed in.
Well, yeah, like New York... Well, yeah, New York's pretty packed in.
Vegas has a monorail, but that's only for the Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
I think.
Speaking of events in our towns that we can't stand, can we talk about how terrible Burning Man is and how awful and shitty it is and what it does to this city? Can we talk about how shitty Burning Man is real quick?
I can't really comment on that, really, personally.
Not the event. Like, I think the event is super cool. I think...
No, you mean, like, what's actually happening out there is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you're talking about when they're here.
I'm talking about when the fucking deadbeat hippie burnouts are in the town.
The burners is what we call them.
Just, God fucking damn it. Just, like, some of them are really nice. And some of them are... But then some of them are just rude as hell. You go into a Walmart and it looks like locusts have been let loose to steal all the food. Like, it just... I went to go get distilled water, right? Mm-hmm. And just all of it gone. All bottled water gone. Just gone. Just all taken. Just rude, terrible drivers that think their RVs own the freaking roads. Just
you mean their 1970s unsafe RVs?
Yeah. They're just I already live in a neighborhood that smells like weed a lot of the time, but now the part of the city always smells like weed at some point. Typically, Walmart parking lots do, especially. Just, oh my god. There's this joke about this that Ray and I have about this hippie character from Viva Pinata. Like, we watched the safety video for the online safety ad that they do for kids, and they gave the pinatas voices and personalities. And this bear, had a total bra surfer voice. And we were just reminded of these burners in front of us, just reminded us of this guy. We're like, yo, my 360 red ringed, and we turned it into a bong. Just, God. The event is fine. You want to go do artsy crap and drugs out in the desert for a weekend and light something on fire, sounds cool. Do what you want to do.
When you put it that way.
But that's what it is. You do a bunch of artsy crap and barter for 3 days out in the desert and do drugs, and then light something on fire and come home. You know? And you pay a lot of money to do it. So, like, we live in Nevada. Like, I can go to the desert and light shit on fire for free. So
well, the only shit they light on fire is basically their giant.
The man.
Yeah, hence the Burning Man.
Yeah. But they all, like, you can't get all the art or the peyote at, most desert trips.
Mm.
Anyway, so yeah, I hate what it does to this city. I hate it. It brings in a lot of revenue. I realize that. Like it is worse than Hot August Nights because at least those people are polite.
Hot August Nights, yeah. Well, those two. Well, to be honest, Burning Man and Hot August Nights cater to completely different crowds.
Yeah. Though I like how Hot August Nights, like 70s cars are now allowed in Hot August Nights.
Yeah.
So like you have these like these heavily Latino gentlemen coming to Hot August Nights with their fucking lowriders with the hydraulics.
Yeah.
And it's just like you see guys like my grandfather's age with their nice like tuned up 1950 sports car listening to like Elvis and sock hop music, and then next to it is Go Shorty, It's Your Birthday with his hydraulics going, and it's just like Hot August Nights just got way better because of this.
Because it isn't just about the 50s and 60s anymore.
Nope. Now it's at the 70s, which is cool. I like lowriders.
It's going to suck when we reach the 80s, because let's be honest here. 80s cars.
Dude, but that means they can start using the DeLorean.
Yeah, but the DeLorean can't be the only thing about the 80s. Yeah, in American, like, let's be honest here.
I mean, there's the Ferrari from Miami Vice.
Well, Hot August Nights is more about American cars. Almost exclusive. Like, actually, I remember going to Hot August Nights a long time ago, and the only car that I ever saw that wasn't some American muscle car was a 50s or 60s VW bus.
I've seen a Porsche. I've seen a Porsche there.
But it is a heavily American event. But the problem is, like, you look at 1980s American cars, and it's kind of really hard to find anything hard to find anything interesting. But let's be honest here, the 70s and 80s, late 70s, I should say for sure, mid to late 70s, and the 80s were pretty low point for American cars because they big states. That's when they became really cheap, unreliable pieces of plastic powered by giant engines that have less horsepower than a moped. That's just how bad it was.
I mean, the only good part is that means, like, when the 80s hit, it means that the Back to the Future car will be at Hot August Nights.
But there's going to be more than one of them, because everyone's going to think the same thing.
Yeah, but I hope one of them actually makes it look like the Back to the Future car.
Oh, I'm sure. Pretty sure a lot of people do that. Heck, I've already seen replicas.
All right, well,
but yeah, I'm really interested what you're gonna think about the '90s, because the '90s is just like, like you gotta think about it. Imagine Hot August Nights when they finally allowed 2010 cars. Think about it. You've got Camaros E28s, Super Snakes, the Hellcat will be allowed in. That would be cool. It's like this decade's actually pretty cool for muscle.
Chargers.
Yeah. Like starting the 2000s, once they allowed the 2000s, the 80s and 90s I feel is like the really dead point. Because, let's buy a Camry.
I've just had so many bad experiences with burners over the past week and a half.
I'll tell you a story once this podcast is over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get that not all those people are jerks. Like, one of my football coaches was a burner, and I'm like...
My English teacher went out to Burning Man.
Buzz Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
My theater teacher did, Miss Niece.
Yeah.
One of my football coaches was the DJ for Burning Man.
Pretty sure they're nice people out there.
Yeah, no, they're super cool people, but there's also super rude, like
high people.
No, because they're not always on drugs. They're just jerks. They're like.
You'd be surprised how big Burning Man is because it freaking draws people from around the world.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's really interesting.
It's always the same weekend as PAX too, so I'm just no. Anyway. We got 2 last pieces of news and then we're done here. Oh no, 3, sorry. The first of which is Mortal Kombat X for 360 and PS3 is officially canceled.
Good, because those fatalities just weren't the same when you dumb down the blood.
Yep. Rocket League on PC has sold over 1 million copies, and 3 copies to be given with Steam hardware pre-orders.
Rocket League is awesome.
It's a great game. It's an incredible game. And like the fact that they gave it away for free was even better.
The what is even better?
The fact that they gave it away for free for a while there was even better.
Yeah!
Rocket League.
Seriously, that has to be some of the most hyped up stuff we ever did for that show all year.
So finally, Guild Wars 2 is getting raids and play core game for free.
Oh, good. I can finally try it. I thought about buying it a long time ago, but then decided against it.
So, they put out a trailer, which I'm going to mute. We can watch.
It's probably... Yep.
CG.
Yep.
Fun fact is a friend of mine who is currently going to DigiPan. I believe she graduates either this year or next year. Got an internship with them.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, as a programmer. So, yeah. I don't know. She really liked Guild Wars 2, so good on her.
That's the thing about the MMO market, is if you don't like World of Warcraft, it's not like World of Warcraft is the only option.
No.
Final Fantasy 14 is way up there. Guild Wars 2,
DC Universe,
Rift,
Star Wars.
Yeah. There's a lot of... I mean, everyone's trying to take down WoW, but one of the nice things about it is you have a lot of choice if you want to try out the genre. It isn't like WoW's the only one. Granted, WoW's where a lot of people are, but it isn't the only place where people are.
Yeah. Anyway.
And a lot of them are free to play because, well, they want to get people in after blowing away so much money.
Alright, well, anyway, that has been the GameKraft GameKast. Please follow us on... We don't have any comments last I checked, do we?
I don't think so, and it's really dark in here.
I mean, we could turn on a light.
Okay.
Anyway, follow us on Facebook.com, TheGamerAccess.com. Follow us on Twitter at TheGamerAccess and Twitch.tv/TheGamerAccess. We now have a donation page on there. Please donate. It helps fund trips to E3, PAX, and PSX for us to cover these awesome events and get interviews and stuff for you folks. And it also helps with equipment needs, such as capture cards, cameras, lights, etc.
Action.
If there's enough, we'll feed ourselves and give the intern crumbs. Anyway, thank you all. We'll be back next week.
Thank you.